welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com, 651-775-9194. Get yourself a conversation with the lovely and talented Sheila, and she'll school you on what you should be doing. Preach at you. She'll be preaching at you on the phone. All right. We're going to talk about the Glass Ceiling Foundation. Amy, why don't you tell us a little bit about that? What is it?
Well, I'm going to let Lisa take that one.
Okay, Lisa, you go.
Lisa is our founder of the Glass Ceiling Foundation.
Co-founder.
Okay.
Co-founder. Tracy and I believe that we have that same charisma that you have, Sheila, for health and wellness. Mm-hmm. We have that same feeling for women, that we want to help any woman who's stuck and struggling, if she wants to be an entrepreneur or whatever it might be, that a lot of times women hit a block. And Glass Ceiling came out of not being attached to anything. It just came to existence because of the connection that we started having through the community and through each other.
What do you mean blocked? I'm curious.
Oh, women have lots of baggage. We have lots of bags. Yeah. How many bags do you have?
Yeah, I have quite a few.
Literally.
We have bags in
bags. Yeah. Yeah. So those blocks, I think that women are they look for excuses not to be successful.
I think just to follow up on that, I've been in as an entrepreneur for a little over 18 years, and I found myself, breaking through barriers that I didn't even know that I had, but I kept up-leveling, but I was really doing it alone. I felt like I was on an island, right? My partner is a beautiful, beautiful support, but he would say, we can't talk to people about what we're doing. So I wasn't going out and finding resources.
Why was this?
I think it was probably his upbringing. You keep everything a secret. You don't want anybody to share. Tell
us what your business is.
Oh, I own a couple of restaurants in Minneapolis. I own Merlin's Rest Pub, Eagan Arms Public House,
and why wouldn't you be talking about that all day long?
Well, I think it was more his upbringing, where he's British, and you keep things close to your vest. Mm-hmm. You don't share problems. Private. You don't go look for solutions. Really? You don't ask a lot of questions. People
ask for help.
Right. You don't ask for help. You definitely don't share emotion. So, his upbringing and him only having this as his entrepreneurial job in the other world he was in the music industry, you don't talk to it. So a lot of times I found myself breaking through those limitations that were put on me just by doing a lot of time on Google or just powering through. And there came a point in my business that I recognized I couldn't go to the next level without finding help.
Okay.
Without looking for other people or without up-leveling myself, and I didn't know how to do that. And, I was incredibly blessed that I started to get into personal growth around that time, started to find out that there was a lot of resources out there, but that I was also incredibly resourceful. And that's when Lisa came into my world and said, I think that we should do something where we bring women together. Lisa was looking for community in Eagan, and I was looking to I had a space, Eagan Arms Public House, had this space, and I wanted to create community, and I knew that I wanted to be around other women that were like me. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to have to power through. They wanted to do it as a collaboration, as holding hands, not kumbaya holding hands.
I know what you mean.
But more like, let's do this together, right. Because I believe that when powerful women come together in a pack versus adversaries, we are a force that can't be denied. So when
I'm kind of scared just sitting here.
I know, right?
You might need to come sneak in on the ladies' happy hour.
You are surrounded by 4 powerhouse women that literally, if we made a decision on doing something, I don't think anything could stop us.
So how then does this Glass Ceiling Foundation form? And I get the whole thing. Let's get together, maybe do some sharing, almost like a mastermind group where you get together and, I'm having this problem here. And, I have a similar problem. Completely different business. But business is business, is what I found. And so all businesses have the same basic problems. They got to find customers. They got to service their product, whatever that product may be, manage employees and so forth. So, but that's a long stretch from a foundation, geared towards doing what? What's the mission?
Our mission has 3 pillars. It's community, education, and sponsorship. And
Mentorship, basically.
And mentorship. So, like you said, the masterminds. And what we realized is, we started thinking about the thought, let's create a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
We really didn't have any idea what we were thinking, what that meant, but
because none of you had been hands in a nonprofit before.
No, so it actually started 2 years ago as a happy hour, and that is like a mastermind, right? But I believe that the success or failure of any business is the psychology of the owner.
I agree.
It doesn't. It has nothing to do with customers or marketing or finances. It has everything to do with your psychology. So when we came together and started this mastermind that we call a happy hour, and we don't say it's a mastermind because I think that if you're not in personal development, mastermind sounds scary.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we really created a business. Amy, you go to a lot of these. They're business
roundtable,
networking groups.
Yes.
So we go a little bit different, though. We're not just a networking group. We really go into the psychology of what's holding you back from that next level.
Okay.
Could be personal, could be business. So that started out as the happy hour. A year later, I really had a desire to be a public speaker. I had been in a past life, and Lisa's like, well, let's do it. So then we created the power luncheons. So
what was interesting about that, though, is I wanted a platform for Tracy. Tracy has this amazing talent for being a speaker, and Tracy also has this big heart. And she was like, you know what? I would love to have a speaker environment, but I would like to bring other people in and listen to what they have to share.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that launched versus it's not just about Tracy. It's not just about Tracy, Lisa, and Amy. It is about supporting women, creating that collaboration.
But you can do all of that without forming a nonprofit and going through all that.
could.
It's a lot of farting around.
It really is. And, it's atrophy because I'm seeing so many nonprofits out there that I did not know existed.
Millions of them.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But what's nice about this is we get to make the decision what we are going to invest in and who gets what we put together so that we can help the people that we want to help.
Mm-hmm.
Not somebody else dictating where our funds would go and who we can help.
Okay, so I'm still confused about what the mission is here because again, all that what you just said you can do without a nonprofit.
That's absolutely. I think one of the biggest things that we found is that we were making money, and there was a collaboration, and we're like, well, what do we do with this money? Because we do charge.
How are you making money?
We charge for the luncheons, for the power luncheons.
All right.
So we were.
What's wrong with having a for-profit business doing that?
Beautiful.
Sounds
right?
great to me.
Absolutely. But what we did decide is that why don't we found that there were people in our community that they had nonprofits or they needed support, and we were able to donate money to them through a nonprofit.
But you could do that without being through.
See,
to me, nonprofit spells
out.
Restriction. And I don't like restriction.
Yeah.
So as soon as you form a nonprofit like that, then you got to have a board. Then you got to have this. And all of a sudden you're restricted about what you could do, and you have to appease. I've been on some boards, and you have to start appeasing people and all that, and it's all this debate, and the whole thing just kind of grinds painfully to a halt or slow.
And that makes me even happier to hear that we started our own nonprofit so we don't have to have that feeling.
Okay.
It's a mindset for us. Like, we are so excited to see where this is going. We sat down with our CFO and Amy, our marketing person, and we created a 30-year plan.
Okay.
And that's our vision.
Which you change every 6 months or 9 months.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
Nothing's 30 years.
It's only expands.
Right.
Nothing's 5 years
That's okay.
anymore.
But I mean, you have to have some goals, right?
Exactly.
You have to set something.
I think it's
up.
about the impact, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the impact that we can do and the collaboration that we can bring. Now, I have a for-profit business. Lisa has one. Amy has one. Mm-hmm. There's still things that we can do for profit to provide for the community, whether it be having my own mastermind under Tracy Muntz Consulting, consulting or whatever.
Yeah.
This is more about how do we amplify the voices that are finding themselves in restriction, whether that be of their own making or society in general. One of the things that we've
Which voices are you talking about?
I'm talking about the women's voices that they've been told that they're too, like, quiet your voice. You're going too big here. Like giving them, and we could do that as a for-profit, but what we found is we really wanted to give back though. We want to make sure that this isn't about Tracy Muntz or Lisa or Amy. It really is about this collective that we can come together and we can lift everybody up without it being about putting money in my pocket.
Okay. And having a nonprofit like that really makes that statement. Versus not.
We're here to help.
Is that we are definitely here to give back. This isn't all about us. It's about this mission, as you will. This is our Healthy Homes. We got to go out and pay some bills right now. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com, the 4 pillars of a healthy home. All right, we're talking about the glass ceiling foundation, breaking through the glass ceiling, getting rid of the excuse making, and defining your goals for, is it women or can anybody do it?
Right now we're preferred women.
Preferred women?
Yep.
Okay. Then it's only appropriate that a man is interviewing you because he actually knows what he's talking about.
And that's why we're women.
There it is. We were waiting for it. We were waiting for
singer.
it. Yeah.
Okay. So
That's that masculine energy.
yes.
We love that, actually. I
Yeah.
think that as women, when we can celebrate the beautiful masculine energy and also the feminine energy, it's I love having men around.
So you said something in the last segment that made me kind of realize something. As a guy, you are expected to go out and earn money, go out and start a business, build this, build that, do the other thing. That's not the same expectation that a woman has, and right or wrong, it's the facts of life. So that when a woman does do that,
Or want to.
and has the audacity to voice it, then it's like, whoa, boy, look at her, and you have all of that background growling going on, which also is very threatening to a lot of guys.
It's also threatening to a lot of guys, and there's not a lot of support for that person, right? If they're going to talk to their siblings about it, or their family about it, or their friends about it, they're going to get a lot of the, are you sure you want to do? There's so much of that side of it versus the supporting side of it, and it's just the way it is,
Well, men have been having happy hours forever.
Yeah.
So why not just have a women's happy hour?
Yep.
That was my thought process.
And I love it. I mean, I think that, what you started is great, and it seems like there's always somebody new, that's attending, and I think it's just a great way for the community, which after 2020, I mean, Lord knows, we need community so much more than we ever have before. And now to be able to have a women's community, for people to go to. I've had a couple people that have gone, and they're, I've invited them, and they're like, well, I don't have a business. And it's like, well, you don't have to have the business to come, right? Because we as women want to support each other. And, after one of them had come, she's like, I always thought about writing a book. I don't know that she would have even spoke that had she not come to the meeting to see everybody.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Okay.
That's so great.
Tell us about, you said you had a 30-year plan, or you were writing a 30-year plan or something. I don't want to know the 30-year plan. I just want to know.
Oh, come on.
I just want to know some of the things. I mean, do you see that you're going to be able to give scholarships to people, to invest in businesses, to invest in training programs, create training programs, or what are you doing?
That is the plan, Keith.
Is it
All of the above? All of the above,
Okay.
yes. We have a power luncheon coming up on August 11th, I believe it is. It's at the Meeting Point in Rosemount.
Okay.
August 5th.
August 5th.
Yeah,
August
it's
5th.
always the first Tuesday. We have one in October. it's beautiful what you just said. What is your 30-year plan? As you said earlier, though, I mean, everything evolves,
Yeah.
right? And it
Yeah.
is evolving. For example, we started with the happy hour, then we went to the power luncheons, then we're like, oh, let's make this a nonprofit. Now, since the nonprofit has been started, we have a book club, we have a podcast, we have a mastermind. Those have all been within the last few months.
Okay.
So we got our nonprofit status in April, had our first book club in April, had our first mastermind start in May, had our first podcast start in June. So everything is evolving pretty quickly right now. One of the things that is really super passionate for me, I was a very young mother, is to work with teenage young ladies on that entrepreneur spirit.
Okay.
And I believe that we have this beautiful pie of women in our community that are in mindset, in finances, in marketing, in different aspects of what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur myself, 18 years ago, I had none of those wheels completed. Those pies in the wheel completed. I was probably at a 10 or a 20%. I've learned how to be a marketer. I've learned how to be financing by doing my business. If we can help young women specifically, like, get to a faster start,
Yes.
I think that is just brilliant, because again, when we have women that are using their voice and using their skills in not a masculine way, not a way that's power and force and grind and hustle, but more in a collaborative way, I think that we can see real change happening not only in our communities but hopefully in this world.
How do you teach people then that come to your luncheon or coffee or whatever you want to call it? What do you want to call it?
I don't know.
Power luncheon.
Our power
Power
luncheons.
luncheon?
Our
Okay.
power luncheons.
Power
We don't do a
luncheon.
lot of coffee.
All right. You should start drinking coffee. So you come
We
to
like
the power.
Well, we
Aperol
have
spritzers
Saturday
and
morning.
Kim's cups.
We have brunch club.
That's
Yeah.
right. We
Right,
have brunch club too.
The mental toughness that it takes
Oh yeah.
to start a business, run a business, discipline employees, force your will, if
Yeah.
if I can say that, on people to do what you tell them to do, because it's not all about. Sometimes being a dictator is a good thing when it's your business, because it's your money. So I always tell people, when you put your money on the table, then I'll like your opinion, I'll maybe go with it. But right now it's my money, so you're going to do it the way I want to do it. And then if it all blows up, it's on me.
Yeah.
But if I follow what you say and it blows up, I still have to pay, and then I'm going to blame you, and then that won't be so pretty.
Sounds like corporate America to me.
Well, it is corporate America. It is corporate America, and that's how it runs. So, is your philosophy different than that?
Well, I wanted to just add on to what Tracy said. A lot of women are just starting a business post-pandemic. They wanted to be around other women, and a lot of women feel that they're missing out on something. They can't put their finger on it. What am I missing out? Something's missing. There's a piece missing. And that collaboration, bringing us together, we're able to communicate and talk things through. And no one likes a dictator. No one wants to force their business on anyone. I don't know that that's the reason why some companies are more successful than others, because they had a dictator running it. I would want to say no one wants to be a part of that.
I think that's a really valid point, and the way that you're talking, and there are times that as a business owner, I absolutely have to have exactly what you said. It's my way. Let's go. Right. But I think also there's a when we're talking and during our happy hour specifically, we're really getting at what is stopping you from doing it. First off, what is it going to take for you to go that next? So it's really not about the hustle and grind. It's more about what's stopping you. Because a lot of times we know we can see the goal. So I think as a business owner, when you have strong vision and strong values and standards, and you really teach those three things. Number one, I can make sure I'm really great at a vision cast. So getting to a place where we can teach women how to vision cast to their staff, so their employees are saying, I want what she's saying, right? I'm with her. The second thing is values, understanding what your values are and how you're living them. I think that as a society, we live these values that we say we're this, but we're really living like this.
Right.
So really getting honest with yourself, the psychology of the owner, getting honest with yourself what your values are, and then being able to teach that and reinforce that to your staff. The more you can do that, like at Eagan Arms, we have 3 values, EAPH. We make it really easy. Eagan Arms Public House. Strive for excellence. It's not excellence that we're looking for. It's the striving for excellence. Attention to detail, but attention to the small detail. We're hospitality. Let's have fun. This is about play, pleasure, and passion. You're not in the restaurant industry. I'm not in the restaurant industry to be a billionaire. I'm telling you.
Right.
Trust me, I know
done
that.
that.
Right? And then the fourth one is hospitality. But hospitality, how do I fill my cup so I can fill yours? Those are what we teach at Eagan, and that's what we do with our women that come to us and they want to go that next step. And then the next one is standards. Some people will say they're boundaries. But when you have high standards and you live a high standard life, then you're not going down to other people's standards. So I think that as business owners, we don't have to always be the dictator. This is my money, do what I say. When we're doing those 3 things, giving them all 3 of those, showing really, and always going back to the vision. Is this aligned to our vision? And Lisa does that through the mastermind that she created. The things that we're creating for the future will really be wrapped around that. You don't have to hustle and grind. You can do this together. You can do it alone as well, but make sure that you're strong on those 3 things.
Yeah, never fun to do it alone. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com, 651-775-9194.
If you're doing a silent auction.
Hey, welcome back to the program. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com, 651-775-9194. We're talking about the glass ceiling foundation. I'm exhausted just thinking about it. Because it is a lot. I know it is a lot.
It is a lot, yes.
And we are involved in a number of things. And I when you talk about it, it gets me excited about it, for one thing, which is curious. But then I get a lot of energy, just the energy to do this. You said, the things that had just taken place since you went nonprofit, the podcast, the this, the that, and all these other things that are going on. You got regular businesses to run too. So it just sounds like I hear this sucking sound, with, taking all of your time and energy out the window. How do you manage that? Because I know how it is with something new, man. You're just all in. And
figuring it out.
Other things can be kind of left in the lurch sometimes and not paid attention to.
The nonprofit is my heart and soul. I have a fractional CMO business. It really is a type of a funnel. Prior to reaching out to Tracy, I realized that I had been living in Eagan for 30 years, but I didn't know anybody. And the happy hours was part of that. Help me find people so that I can make new connections and meet people. But I'm in a season of life where, you know what? I'm 61 years old. Maybe I should retire. Why would I ever want to retire?
No,
right.
Why would I want to
Sounds
stop?
like death to me.
So for me to have a fractional business, a part-time business alongside of this nonprofit, it really melds together so nicely. And, we're leaning into what we know and what we're comfortable with. And it's not like a fight, like, oh, do I have to work on that again? It's more of, yay, I get to work with Tracy today.
Right, but it's you guys working together versus somebody working alone.
Right,
Yes.
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now here's another question again. And I don't want to sound like a
Jerk.
but maybe it will. So women talk a lot.
What?
I think you
Lot
have
of
more
words.
words per day than I do.
I don't know. A lot of words to say very little.
I take it all in every day and listen.
Yeah, okay, so how do you get past the talking? You know how it is? Well, I want to get together. I want to talk about, this. And a year later, they're still talking about what they're going to do. How do you get people in general and people that you're trying to help to take action.
I'm going to take this one. So what's really curious is you're absolutely right. And I'm a talker. I'm an outside processor.
Right.
So I like to, you got to hear everything
Yes, yep.
before I can get there. Because I have a lot of things on my plate. And I love it.
Me too.
I just,
Yep, me too.
I love going from the pubs to talking about, Glass Ceiling Foundation, or going from Glass Ceiling Foundation and talking about another market or mastermind that I'm in. I love that because it just fills my cup all day long. And when I get tired of doing it, I take my rest.
Okay.
I take restoration time. So I think that's really important, and not something that women understand. They think that they go downtime and they get their glass of wine and that's they're recharging, and it isn't recharging.
No. Right.
What we're doing recharges us every day. I really do get inspired by the women that I get to surround myself with, but I also know that we have to have deadlines. I'm not a person that wants to do a meeting just to have a meeting.
Right.
And in fact, when we first started this, it was like, oh, we have to have a meeting on this. And I finally said, no, there has to be decision makers in this. We have to make sure that we're moving. And we just had a conversation last night about moving the needle. There has to be moving the needle. We also look for collaboration. If you say you want to do something, for example, Carrie Cook, she's our CFO on our board. She's like, I want to do a brunch club, and I said, great, let's go. Mm-hmm. When's our first one?
Right.
You're in charge.
Yep.
So that way, we want women to come in and say, I've been wanting to do this. We have a beautiful Aronica that's in our group. She's a yoga instructor, and she's been doing it Zoom, and she's like, I'd really like to. Okay, let's do it. Bring it into this fold. We'll get it moving down the road for you. And then whatever, if she wants to charge for it down the road, we can certainly do that through the foundation. But it really is having those decision makers that are saying, no, we can't just talk about this. What are we doing? Let's move forward.
Is it always about business? I mean, I'm a mentor for University of St. Thomas entrepreneurship program. Okay. So I meet with a lot of people, and they say they want to be entrepreneurs, they want to start it, and they really don't. They like the idea of it, and they have this romantic notion that they're going to be self-employed and they're going to have money coming in, and all this is all magically going to happen until they find out that it's like a lot of work. And so then they stop. They stall out. So how do you, when I talk about getting people to take action, some of that is defining what they really want to do. And sometimes it has nothing to do with business.
That's right.
So do you work with that too? I mean, to help people?
I think targeting people's zone of genius, right? And that's really...
Zone of genius.
What are they really, really good at? And I'm going to use Amy as an example. Okay. Amy is outstanding at community connection. Outstanding.
Yes, I agree.
But because she has a magazine, we immediately thought she was a marketer.
Yeah.
Nope.
She's not a marketer, right? So we're trying to pigeonhole her, as everybody is trying to pigeonhole her into being a marketer. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's not Amy's, so being able to, number one, I think women do this really well, being honest, right? We can look at you and go, hey, that shirt, I don't think that's not your color.
Not working.
Right?
Right.
But we do that in a sisterhood way and in a trusting way, in a safe environment, that when that would come different if you said to Sheila, hey, that color, not so good, sister.
Do these pants make me look fat?
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Don't ask questions you won't want the answer to. But I think that one thing that we do really well is when we bring people into the fold, when people come into the fold, we're pretty honest with them in a safe environment. And also we give them enough space to walk down the road, right? If you want to be an entrepreneur, what does that look like? What do you need help with? And then also giving them also the resources that it's okay to say, this isn't what I want to do.
Do you see yourself sitting down with somebody at some point in time and saying, honey, this isn't for you. You need to exit out of here because you're taking up space. And that can be a negative influence on the rest of the group. When someone is in there week after week or month after month or year after year, showing up, but never progressing.
I hope we get to that level. At this point, everyone really complements each other, and we're there to build them up. And I feel like if they're not at the same level as us, they're either going to rise with us or they're going to just naturally fall off.
Mm-hmm.
I also think
wayside.
in what capacity would they be in, right? If we're talking about somebody that, is, I mean, as a business owner, you have to look at the people on your bus and say, do you belong on this bus?
Right.
I only have a certain number of spots.
Right.
Right? I think John Maxwell is the one that says, the failure to let somebody go,
Yes.
that
Right.
that is the detriment of your business, right? The minute you do, there's like this
Right.
like breath of fresh air. I think that if you're coming to the happy hour and you're just coming to be a participant, that's okay. Because you're there for a reason.
Right.
But if you're somebody that says you want to do something and you keep failing on those commitments, those are probably not the people that we won't go to in the future. But
And those people
everybody
that
is
just show
absolutely
up,
welcome.
they'll self-deport.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Right.
After
Yeah.
a while,
Right.
they'll just
Absolutely.
stop coming.
This is available to anybody that wants to show up. The only requirement is please don't be disruptive.
So talk about making this known to people. How are you making this known to people so that the women that are listening to this show or that you network with can call their neighbor and say, hey, you should go to this?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is word of mouth and inviting one new person for every single event. Personally, my favorite event is the Power Lunch. We have a topic for health and wellness this year, so we have different speakers. Sheila came and spoke on our podcast a few weeks ago.
She was also at our power lunch,
Yes.
which was outstanding. P.S.
Yes.
I mean, like, if I could just have that conversation on wellness, women's wellness, it's so important.
It's so
especially,
important.
when we look around at the people that are coming right now, they're in their 40s and 50s. We do get some 20s and 30-year-olds, but they're getting
Majority.
into that later years,
Yeah.
and there's questions that are being asked in their head, but they don't know how to say them out loud. And the Power Lunch was such a beautiful resource for women to get some questions answered that they can't say out loud.
And it's topics that women don't like to have those conversations.
Right.
So we're bringing it out and we're
Right.
actually
You don't talk
having-
about finance.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Don't talk about money. And that's why we're going to do it on money. So,
Yep.
yeah. So I think that if, to answer your question, the way that we have a website, glassceilingfoundation.org. There's events always. We have, obviously we're on social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Really, it's word of mouth right now. So
Okay,
invite
I
people.
just want to touch on the podcast quick. So you have the podcast. You've done one, two.
we have, I think we have 6
Okay.
episodes.
Okay, so you're getting into the rhythm. Where do you see that going? Who's on? Who do you like to have on? And does the podcast have a theme to it, or how's that?
Okay, so the podcast is just us, and then we usually bring some people on. It usually is directed around health. It'll be on wealth this next quarter,
Okay.
and then it'll be on personal development the last quarter. So
Okay, so
each
there
will
is
have
a-
kind of
is
a
theme.
There is a
Yeah.
theme,
Yeah,
yes.
based on the power luncheons.
And where do people find that podcast?
They'll be able to find it on all the networks. It
normal.
just hasn't
Spotify,
been.
Apple,
Yeah.
Okay.
Google, YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super duper.
And
Yeah.
if you could ask for something from the listeners, what would it be?
Go to our website. It's
Okay.
still a shell. We're
Okay.
still
No, we
working
love
on
the
that.
website.
But it is glassceilingfoundation.org. It's pretty easy to remember. It's all one word, glassceilingfoundation.org. Everything is there.
Yeah, come
Great.
to an event.
Check
Yeah,
it out.
right.
This
Check
is
it out.
Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. Thanks a lot. This has been
is
an
good.
interesting
Thank you. This is
conversation.
Yeah. Honored.
We'll see you next week.
But when he calls me sugar, I love that man with all my might. Sugar in the morning, sugar in the afternoon. Sugar after dinner, sugar in every room. He says I'm sweet as I can be. When he calls me that name, it does things to me. I tell him, honey, you can call me